How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins, Media Corner, back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka for our Saw review video for today. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 superhero film, and this is the latest installment of the MCU, and it's also the third MCU film to be released this year after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And as you guys can tell from the title of this video, of course, I'm here to review The Marvels. Now, this film was directed by Nia DaCosta, who you may know her as the director of 2021's Candyman, which I thought was an awesome sequel to one of my favorite horror films that was released back in the 90s. So now she has come to make a new installment to the MCU, which is this film. And this is also a sequel to Captain Marvel, which that came out back in 2019. It's also a continuation to the Disney Plus series Ms. Marvel. And the story of the film is that Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, once again played by Brie Larson, gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, played by Iman, Vellani, and Monica Rambeau, played by Teyonah, Parris, and they are forced to work together to basically save the universe. So that's pretty much the story of The Marvels. In terms of like the last two MCU films that we did get this year, in which were Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. For Quantumania, I did enjoy that film, although I was a bit disappointed with that film because there was some stuff I did find myself disappointed with while I was watching the film, but there still was some stuff I did find myself enjoying with while I was watching the film, and the best way I can describe it with the way I felt with that film is that I thought it was overall an enjoyable entry to the MCU, although it certainly isn't the best in the MCU or anything like that. It's definitely one of the weakest ones in the MCU. But as for Guardians 3, I enjoyed that film a lot more than Quantumania. I had a really great time with that film, and the way I can describe that film was that it was a great fun yet satisfying finale to a really fun series that James Gunn has created in the MCU. Well, as for this movie, The Marvels, I was really excited for this movie, since this was the sequel to Captain Marvel. And for what I think of that film is that I thought the film was overall a good, solid entry to the MCU, although it certainly isn't the best in the MCU or anything like that. It's definitely another weakest one to the MCU, but it certainly wasn't a bad watch or anything like that, because I did find myself enjoying that film, even though the film was very controversial and all that due to Brie Larson and what she said in the press and all that. That did really upset people and all that. But still, though, I still think the film is pretty good, even though it's not the best in the MCU or anything like that. But still, though, like I said, I was really excited for the sequel here. And I was really surprised that Nia DaCosta was directing this film here, since she was the director of 2021's Candyman, which I had a blast with that film, and it was one of my favorite horror films of 2021. And I enjoyed that film even more than the original Candyman from 1992. So I was really intrigued to see what she was going to do with this new entry to the MCU here. And I went to see this film on opening day, which was on the 10th of November of this year. And I saw this in a really big screening, although there wasn't that many people in, unfortunately. But after watching this whole movie here, I can definitely say I enjoyed this film a lot more than Quantumania, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed this film a lot more than Guardians 3, because I also found this film a little bit disappointing as well. But I didn't hate everything about this film here, because I thought this film was overall enjoyable here from beginning to end here, even though it certainly isn't the best in the MCU or anything like that here. The things that I did like in The Marvels was the acting. Like, Brie Larson is once again not too bad in the movie as Captain Marvel, despite the whole controversy around her and all that ever since the first film was released back in 2019. But still, for the most part, she isn't too bad here for the most part. Like, there are times where she does kick out of the park for her performance here in this film here. And as for the other actors who are in the film here, in which you've got Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, she was a lot of fun in the film here. Like, she brings a lot of energy and joy to the film here, and I liked where this film does follow her perspective and all that. Like, when we get to see some moments with her in the film, which I really enjoyed those moments here and there in this film here. And you've got Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau, which I thought she was pretty good as well. And of course, you know, you've got Samuel Jackson returning as Nick Fury, and he's of course great in the film here. And as for everyone else who in the film here, they were pretty good and pretty fun for the most part for the acting talent here in this film here. And when it comes to the action scenes, they're all pretty entertaining enough for the most part here. And they were directed pretty well done here by Nia DaCosta, who directed this film here. And as for the pacing, it is paced so fast here and yet so smoothly here, since this is the shortest in the MCU here, in which this film's on for an hour and 45 minutes here, which I was surprised that this is the shortest in the MCU here. But still, though, it is paced so smoothly and yet so fast here. And this film just manages to get straight to the point once the film has just started and all that. Those are the things I did like in this film. The issues I do have with this film here is its story, because I found the story for this film pretty weak here for this whole new adventure that we see Captain Marvel get up to in this film here. And as for the tone, it is pretty messy here, because this film just doesn't even know where it wants to be and all that. Like, there are times where the film tries to be serious and all that. Like, we get to see some moments where it tries to showcase some like emotional moments in the film, which I didn't find those moments that strong here. And there are times where the film tries to be really entertaining and all that, in which this film kind of relies a lot of life nearly throughout the whole film here. Like, we get to see some really, like, humorous moments in the film here, in which when it comes to the moments like that in this film, they are pretty entertaining enough for the most part. And while there were a few, like, entertaining moments here and there in this film that I found really cheesy here, and some of them didn't really work out that well for me and all that, but still that there were a few handful of them that I found pretty entertaining enough for the most part here. But again, this film just doesn't even know where it wants to be and all that in terms of its tone that this film showcases here and then and all that. And as for the effects of the film, they are pretty noticeable here. Like, there are some, like, noticeable CGI and green screen and all that. And while there are a few, like, some visuals in the film that aren't too bad here, but still, though, there are a few, like, effects moments in the film that are pretty noticeable here and all of that. But in the end, guys, The Marvels, this was overall another enjoyable entry to the MCU here. And it certainly isn't the worst I've seen in the MCU or anything like that. And like I said, I definitely enjoyed this one a lot more than Quantumania, but this is definitely not as good as Guardians 3 here. And if you were a massive fan of Captain Marvel, or you're a fan of the character or anything like that, I could definitely say this will definitely be a good popcorn treat for yourselves here. So that's pretty much all I have to say about The Marvels. I'm going to give The Marvels 3.5 out of 5. Like I said before, this is definitely another entry to the MCU that I can consider enjoyable here. Like, there was some stuff I did find myself enjoying with this film here, even though there certainly are problems I did have with this film here and there and all that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on The Marvels, and let me know what you think of this new entry to the MCU, if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a blast with this, or are you very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.